The Arctic is no place for the faint of heart, especially when a polar bear begins the hunt. This video reveals some of the most intense and unforgettable polar bear attacks ever documented. From silent ambushes on the ice to overwhelming displays of raw power, every moment exposes the harsh reality of survival in the frozen north. Stay with us, because the tension is only just beginning. Let's begin. The polar bear's hunt for walrus is a battle of survival against overwhelming odds. In the unforgiving Arctic, where food is scarce and every decision carries life or death consequences, polar bears depend on patience, intelligence, and raw strength to secure their next meal. A walrus, though dangerous prey, offers a vital reward rich in energy essential for enduring long months of ice and starvation. An adult walrus can weigh more than 1,500 kilograms, protected by thick skin and a deep layer of fat that makes it a valuable target for a hungry bear. Yet those same traits turn the walrus into a formidable opponent. Armed with long, razor-sharp tusks, the walrus is far from defenseless. One mistake from the bear can result in a crippling wound, or worse, an injury that seals its fate in the frozen wilderness. In this scene, a polar bear faces one of his greatest challenges, a herd of walruses. Hidden by drifting sea fog, he advances slowly, hunger pushing him closer. The walruses tighten their formation, thick hides and sharp tusks locking together to form a living barrier. The bear tests the defense, lunging toward a female protecting her calf. Claws scrape and teeth press in, but the armored skin holds firm. As the herd surges toward the water, confusion spreads. The bear makes one final attempt, gripping a walrus, but her massive strength drags him toward the sea. She breaks free and disappears into the water, leaving the bear standing alone, defeated and empty-handed. Among all possible prey, seals remain the most valuable target. A single adult seal can provide nearly 100,000 calories, a critical lifeline. Seals are among nature's most efficient survivors, built for speed and agility beneath the ice. Yet even they cannot outrun the patience and intelligence of a polar bear. With an extraordinary sense of smell, the bear can locate a seal's breathing hole, known as an igloo. It waits in silence, sometimes for hours, body still and focused, until the decisive moment arrives. The strike is sudden and merciless. One mistake from the seal, one powerful lunge from the bear, and the Arctic cycle of life moves forward. For the polar bear, every hunt carries enormous risk. Each attempt is a gamble in a frozen world where failure means hunger. Even as an apex predator, it faces mounting pressure. Shrinking sea ice has shortened the hunting season, forcing polar bears to burn more energy for fewer opportunities, turning survival into an ever-narrowing margin. The bear moves with careful precision, circling downwind to remain unseen. Her target, a seal resting beside a breathing hole, senses nothing out of place. With a sudden plunge, she strikes beneath the surface, an act of remarkable speed and control. The seal's blubber, carrying nearly 100,000 calories, will sustain her for days. But time works against her. As summer melts the ice, each hunt demands more energy, draining her strength. And this is only the beginning. Beyond the thinning ice waits an even greater test: the walrus. Belugas are uniquely adapted to survive one of the harshest environments on Earth. Unlike most cetaceans, they lack a dorsal fin, an evolutionary advantage that allows them to swim safely beneath solid sheets of ice without injury. Their thick layer of blubber, which can make up nearly 40% of their body weight, insulates them against extreme cold while also storing vital energy for periods when food is scarce. Belugas are not a primary food source for polar bears, but they become vulnerable when conditions align. This usually happens during seasonal migrations, when pods gather near openings in the ice, or when shifting sea ice traps whales in shallow water. Although smaller than many cetaceans, belugas can weigh between 1,000 and 1,500 kilograms, offering a substantial supply of blubber and meat. For a polar bear, this energy-rich reward becomes vital as ice cover shrinks and seals grow harder to catch. Using immense strength, polar bears strike with their massive paws to stun and immobilize a beluga. Powerful jaws then deliver a fatal bite to the head or neck. Near ice edges or in shallow water, the bear drags its catch onto solid ice to feed, often returning repeatedly or sharing the remains with cubs. Polar bears are solitary by nature, but when their paths cross, conflict can erupt. These encounters are rare, yet when they happen, they become powerful displays of strength, dominance, and survival in one of the harshest environments on Earth. The main causes are competition for food, access to mates, or control over prime hunting grounds. During the spring breeding season, male polar bears often clash over a receptive female. These battles can be intense and prolonged, with larger, older males using size and experience to drive rivals away. Victory offers more than reproduction. It establishes dominance and influence across the surrounding region. Although polar bears are not territorial in the traditional sense, they will defend valuable hunting areas. As climate change reduces sea ice, their essential hunting platform, encounters between bears are becoming more frequent. With less space and fewer resources, conflict is no longer an exception, but an increasing reality of Arctic survival. In the harsh and unforgiving Arctic, the survival of a polar bear cub depends entirely on its proximity to its mother during the critical early months and years of life. Without their mother's constant care and protection, their chances of survival in this extreme environment would be virtually non-existent. Although polar bears are apex predators, cubs are vulnerable to attacks from adult male polar bears. Males may kill cubs to induce the mother to return to estrus or to eliminate competition for resources. Additionally, other Arctic predators, such as wolves or even scavenging birds, pose a threat if a cub becomes separated. Cannibalism among polar bears is one of the harshest survival responses in a shrinking Arctic. Driven by extreme hunger, an adult male may hunt a cub, exposing the brutal reality of life in the frozen north. In the most desperate situations, even a cub's mother may return to feed on the remains to survive. As sea ice continues to decline over decades, critical hunting grounds are disappearing. With fewer seals and longer fasting periods, polar bears are pushed toward increasingly desperate behavior. This reality reveals a world where survival leaves no room for mercy. The wolf stands as a lasting symbol of both raw power and advanced social intelligence. A wolf pack functions as a close family unit, guided by a dominant breeding pair whose leadership maintains order and survival. During the hunt, wolves rely on strategy and endurance, using sharp senses of smell and hearing to track prey across vast distances. Once a target, such as a moose, musk ox, or bison, is selected, the pack moves as one, rotating roles to chase and exhaust the animal before closing in. Despite their fearsome reputation, wolves fail in most hunts. Many attempts end without a kill, proving that success in the wild is earned through persistence rather than strength alone. Wolves and polar bears occasionally confront one another in tense encounters over food and territory. The most common trigger is a carcass. Drawn by an exceptional sense of smell, a polar bear may arrive at a wolf kill and attempt to claim it. For the wolves, this hard-earned meal is not easily surrendered, even to a larger predator. Territory can also ignite conflict. As Arctic sea ice continues to shrink, polar bears are forced to spend more time on land, increasing encounters with terrestrial hunters like wolves. Highly territorial by nature, wolves view a bear's presence as a direct threat to their hunting grounds and dens. These confrontations rarely end in outright victory. More often, they dissolve into an uneasy standoff, with both predators choosing to move on in search of easier prey.
With the herd retreating to water, the bear must move quickly.
The power of the polar bear is both humbling and unforgettable. In the Arctic, strength is not displayed for spectacle, but for survival. What we have witnessed today is only a glimpse into a life shaped by ice, hunger, and relentless endurance. If this journey left an impression, support the story by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. More untold moments await, and the wild has many chapters still to reveal.